This video is about the famous people and celebrities who passed away in 1985 in the United States. This is the second episode, but before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel to support us. Marvin Miller, he was born in July 1913 and he died in February 1985. His age was 71 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Marvin Miller was an American actor, possessing a deep baritone voice. He began his career in radio in St. Louis, Missouri before becoming a Hollywood actor. He is remembered for voicing Robbie the Robot in the science fiction film Forbidden Planet in 1956, a role he reprised in the lesser-known The Invisible Boy in 1957. Miller's next most notable role is that of Michael Anthony, the loyal assistant of Paul Frees's generous millionaire John Brassford Tipton Jr. on the television series The Millionaire from 1955 to 1960. In films The Heavyset, Miller was often cast as a villain, many times playing Asian roles. He portrayed a sadistic henchman in the 1947 Humphrey Bogart film Dead Reckoning and was Yamada in the 1945 James Cagney film Blood on the Sun. From 1949 to 1950, Miller starred as Dr. Yat Fu on the short-lived ABC series Mysteries of Chinatown, with Gloria Saunders cast as his niece, Art Toy. In 1961, Miller guest starred as Johnny Caslow with Irene O'Brien in the Marble Slap episode of the Frederick Zev United Artists. An MGM-produced Bat Masterson starring Gene Barry. Original air date was May 11, 1961. Nicholas Colasanto, he was born in January 1924 and he died in February 1985. His age was 61 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Best known as an American actor and television director, he is best known for his role as Ernie Pantuso in the American television sitcom Cheers from 1982 to 1985. By 1951, he was bookkeeper. Around 1954, he intended to work as an accountant for a company in Saudi Arabia. Inspired by Henry Fonda's performance in the Broadway play Mr. Roberts, Colasanto applied for American Academy of Dramatic Arts but was rejected, so he joined a small theater company instead in Phoenix, Arizona. Colasanto is best known for his role as Coach Ernie Pantuso, a character in television sitcom Cheers. His early acting career included a theatrical play, A Head Full of Rain in 1956, starring Ben Gazzara, and another role that earned him an Obie Award nomination in 1962. Colasanto was in demand as an actor and director, but in mid-1970s he was diagnosed with heart disease, which was exacerbated by his alcoholism. After 20 years of alcoholism, he became an active member of Alcoholics Anonymous from March 1976 and became sober in the same year. In the late 1970s, he began having difficulty securing directing jobs as his health was declining. His last major film role was as mob boss Tommy Como in Raging Bull 1980. Clarence Nash, he was born in December 1904 and he died in February 1985. His age was 80 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was leukemia. Clarence Nash was an American voice actor and impressionist. He is best remembered as the original voice of the Disney cartoon character Donald Duck. He was born in the rural community of Watauga, Oklahoma, and a street in that town is named in his honor. In 1993, he was posthumously made a Disney legend for his contributions to Walt Disney films. Nash made a name for himself in the late 1920s as an impressionist for KHJ, a Los Angeles radio station, on their show, The Merrymakers. He later was employed by the Adore Milk Company for the publicity purposes. Dubbed Whistling Clarence, the Adore Birdman, Nash rode the streets with a team of miniature horses and gave treats to the children. In 1932, Nash happened by the Disney studio with his team of horses and decided to leave a copy of his Adore publicity sheet with the receptionist. As it turns out, his name was recognized from a reprise appearance on The Merrymakers a few days previous, and Walt Disney had been impressed by Nash's vocal skills. He was asked to make an informal audition. Alexander Scourby. He was born in November 1913 and he died in February 1985. His age was 71 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Alexander Scourby was an American film, television, and voice actor and narrator known for his deep and resonant voice and mid-Atlantic accent. He is best known for his film role as the ruthless mob boss Mike Lagana in Fritz Lang's The Big Heat in 1953, and is also particularly well remembered in the English-speaking world for his landmark recordings of the entire King James Version audio Bible, which have been released in numerous editions. He later recorded the entire Revised Standard Version of the Bible. Scourby was an accomplished narrator, including for 18 episodes of National Geographic specials from 1966 to 1985, almost twice as many as any of its other narrators. He recorded 422 audiobooks for the blind, which he considered his most important work. He first appeared on screen opposite Glenn Ford in Affair in Trinidad, Colombia in 1952 and The Big Heat, Colombia 1953. He appeared again with Glenn Ford in Ransom, MGM in 1956, later to be remade with Mel Gibson and Grace Inese. He played Dr. Mikhail Androsy in The Shaggy Dog in 1959. John G. Trump. He was born in August 1907 and he died in February 1985. His age was 77 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. He was an American electrical engineer, inventor, and physicist, a professor at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology (MIT) from 1936 to 1985. He was a recipient of the National Medal of Science and a member of the National Academy of Engineering. Trump was noted for developing rotational radiation therapy together with Robert J. Van de Graaff. He developed one of the first million-volt X-ray generators. He was the paternal uncle of Donald Trump. During the Second World War, Trump switched from work on hospital X-ray machines to research into similar technologies, especially the development of radar. During the 1940s, he joined the newly formed National Defense Research Committee (NDRC) as technical aide to Carl Compton, president of MIT, who was serving also as the chairman of the radar division within the NDRC. Trump received the 1983 National Medal of Science in Engineering Sciences for his introduction of new methods for the beneficial application of ionizing radiation in medicine, industry, and atomic physics. The White House hosted a ceremony for the medalists on February 27, 1985, 6 days after Trump's death. His oldest son, John Jr., accepted the medal from United States President Ronald Reagan. Ephraim Zimbalist. He was born in April 1889 and he died in February 1985. His age was 95 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Ephraim Zimbalist was a Russian and American concert violinist, composer, conductor, and director of the Curtis Institute of Music. After graduation, he debuted in Berlin playing the Brahms Concerto and London in 1907 and in the United States in 1911 with the Boston Symphony Orchestra. When he gave the first American performance of the Glazunov Violin Concerto in 1912, he played the Glazunov Concerto in a concert, making Leopold Stokowski's first appearance with the London Symphony Orchestra. He then settled in the United States. He did much to popularize the performance of classical music in his adopted country. In 1917, he was elected as an honorary member of Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia, the national fraternity for men in music, by the fraternity's Alpha chapter at the New England Conservatory of Music in Boston. He retired as a violinist in 1949, but returned in 1952 to give the first performance of the Violin Concerto by Giancarlo Menotti. He retired again in 1955. He served as a juror of the International Tchaikovsky Competition in 1962 and 1966. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a nice day.